So it's finally time for us to tell you more about the cars in F1 22. Let's get right into it. So, the new generation of Formula 1 has already delivered some great racing, and now it is coming to gaming as F1 22 approaches. Codemasters has gone through several sweeping regulation changes in F1. While F1 2014 was a tricky transition, F1 2017 ushered in something of a golden generation. So how will F1 22 cope with a new era of F1? We got hands-on with a preview version of the game to try it out. So just before we jump into the in-depth details on the cars in F1 22, we have to note that all of our observations are made from a preview build of F1 22, and these could well change ahead of the full release at the end of June. But for now, let's get into it. The new cars for this year are heavier than the previous generation. Minimum weight has gone up by 43 kilograms over 2021, with teams struggling to hit that mark and coming in overweight. There are plenty of reasons for this, with the bigger wheels and tyres making a huge difference. This weight difference makes the cars feel heavier as you drive. It's not that you are wrestling to get them into corners, but just that they are less responsive at slower speeds. The tracks on offer in the preview build, those are Imola, Miami, Silverstone, Red Bull Ring and COTA, were not the best to test this, but it feels like the slower speed sections and tracks will be trickier to navigate in F1 22. The tricky technical bits of Miami are a perfect example of just how cumbersome these new cars are. You can't just throw the cars over the curbs now, it requires a little more precision and control. Smaller tyre sidewalls and lower ride heights means you'll really feel the car bottoming out, and the problem that creates. Overall though, these cars still feel good. Codemasters has a philosophy of balancing realism with accessibility. While some cry out for more emphasis on the realism, F1 22 has retained a good balance in our opinion. Senior Creative Director Lee Mather said, "We had predominantly understeery cars, but we wanted to bring in that front end bite, that feeling of turn-in. We've always been trying to find that balance between a car that is on a knife edge, as F1 cars are, but for a player to have that margin to manipulate the car through a corner, to come on and off the throttle, to adjust trajectory and rotation." It's still early days and there is likely to be some changes to the handling model of F1 22, either before release or quickly after, but it seems like Mather and his team have found the right balance this year and are providing a good reflection of these cars.
Before we move on, have you subscribed to Racing Games yet? Just one click and you're on the Racing Games grid. Oh, and hit that notification bell too so you never miss an upload. Alright, on with the video.
One big thing from this season is porpoising, which is the way the cars bounce up and down at high speeds as the aero attaches and detaches from the car. This is not in F1 22 and we are thankful for it, especially as VR finally makes an appearance in the F1 series for PC players. While it could probably have been done, it would have been unpleasant for drivers and potentially problematic for the implementation of upgrades in career mode in my team. As a result, the Mercedes is fine to drive and won't give you a headache. While it does somewhat reduce the individuality of cars in the game, overall it was a good decision from Codemasters not to put this into F1 22. With teams working hard to eliminate it from their cars anyway, it could be gone by the time the game releases. Formula 1 games have had the same setup systems for a while now, but F1 22 is about to shake all that up. While the 1 to 11 scale for suspension remains, and the options for camber and tow are the same, the aerodynamic balance of your car is much more open this year. We asked Mather about setups and what we can expect in F1 22, and here's what he had to say. "We definitely expect to see different setups to last year. That's something the handling guys have been playing with this year. We've opened up the variables that we changed, the aero being the predominant one, so that there is now a broad range. We've broadened the original range of 11 slider positions for the aero to give you the full range that's available in the handling." So what does this mean for us as a player? Well, this means that there is now a 1 to 50 scale for aerodynamics on both the front and rear of the car. This will better reflect the challenges of Formula 1 and the way teams attack circuits like Spa, Monza, Monaco and Singapore. It also means even more refinement for aero balance across each track and makes setup testing a little trickier for F1 22. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, that is the cars in F1 22. What did you make of them? Now we're going to give you a little bit of time to just watch the cars. Now we're going to show you some raw footage of the cars just sat in the car selection screen so you can get a full look at the liveries as well as the preview models of the cars.